Hello and welcome back to Clear Sky Technologies. I'm Isaac, a SuiteDash Sensei certified expert. If you're new to SuiteDash, you're in the right place. This is the second part in a 4-part series designed to help you set up a smooth and effective client onboarding process in SuiteDash, step by step. By the end of this series, you'll have a fully functional onboarding system that guides your clients from start to finish in a hands-free, scalable way. Today, we're adding the second layer to your onboarding system by showing you how to secure your client relationship at the beginning of your interaction. In this lesson, we'll cover how to securely gather sensitive information, get an e-signature on your client service agreement, and show the new client around your portal so they can find their way easily. Each episode in this series builds on the previous lessons, so if you skipped ahead, I highly recommend going back and watching the previous lessons so you can get the most out of this time. You'll need the assets built in previous lessons to complete the walkthrough in this one. If you're all ready, let's dive in. Alright, here we are in SuiteDash, looking at our forms, and we can see the kickoff form that we created in our earlier lesson. Now, kickoff forms, being designed just to bring people into the system, are always designed to be the lowest friction possible. You don't want to ask deeply personal questions right up front before you've even established your business relationship. Not to mention, you also don't want people entering sensitive information onto a public website. Although the form is secure, the website may or may not be, which could cause some vulnerabilities. So, kickoff forms should be just for the basic information needed to bring someone into your system. If we need to request additional information, as we usually do, we can simply make that happen by creating an update form. So just like we created our kickoff form, we're going to go here to the small drop-down arrow and create an update form. The process will look largely the same as creating the kickoff form, but with a few key differences. So we'll call this client details. And on our form, now we're going to ask for some sensitive information. Maybe we need the company address. Let's go company city, company state, and company zip code. We often need these, for example, to be embedded into the contract for the service agreement. Contact fields. Let's go ahead and add the birth date. Okay. Now, since this is an update form, we do need to add the company name field and provide these options so that we can so that SuiteDash knows how to apply the information that's being updated. Remember, an update form is used to update fields that already exist or update a record that already exists, and a kickoff form is used to bring them in. So we're a little bit downstream now. So on the company field side, I want to simply create a company if no match can be made. We'll allow them to enter the company name, and we'll leave the other options just at the default time for now. Let me know in the comments if you'd like a deep dive on the company name options. I'd be happy to go into that, if you want it, that is. So here's our update form. Everything looks good to me, so I'm going to go ahead and simply save that form now. Fantastic. All right, so the next piece now is going to be a flow. You can find flows under the onboarding menu in SuiteDash. There are two types of flows we can create in SuiteDash, and from a client's perspective, they operate exactly the same, but from an administrative perspective, there's some important differences. We have what's called an onboarding flow and an on-demand flow. An onboarding flow can only be assigned to the client while you are manually creating that record in the CRM or by way of a kickoff form. The point is that an onboarding flow requires your client or your contact to complete these steps before they are allowed to access any other part of your portal. So this is great for things like non-disclosure agreements, client service agreements, any basic information you'd want to share with new clients before they really get started. An on-demand flow, again, operates the same way from the client's perspective in that it holds their hand and walks them through the steps one by one. But the on-demand flow can be assigned to any contact at any time. Okay, so for our purposes today, we're going to create an onboarding flow. That's really what we're working on here anyway, isn't it? So we are going to call this, let's just call this new client intake flow, something like that. Now, on the flow, we have the opportunity here to add a new flow step. To add a new step to the flow, simply click here, and you'll see a pop-up list of all the different flow step types that we can add. Let me know in the comments if you have questions about what these do, and I'll be happy to answer. We won't have time in this video to go over all of them, but we'll cover a few for you. So the first one that we want to cover is we're going to use this update/general form. The idea here is that SuiteDash will take a form, an update form or a general form that we've created in the system, and embed it into the flow as one of the flow steps. Pretty cool, huh? So in this case, we're going to use our update form, which we've got right here, client details. That's all there is to that. And so now our form has been integrated into this flow. Not to worry, you will understand what this looks like in just a few minutes. Once we get this set up, I'll show you a preview from the client side. So the step label is how we identify this step from an admin side. And you'll note when I delete this, it also blanks out the label up here at the top, because we're simply naming this from an admin side. So I'll just call this update form, perhaps. For the step title, now this is what the clients will see. And I'll say update your details. I think that's probably good. Okay. That's it for that. I will close that up and we'll add another flow step. Now, what we're going to add is the client service agreement. So for this, we're going to use the read and e-sign flow step. Again, the step label is just for admin purposes. Step title is for the clients. So I'll say client service agreement. Then we click the button here to edit content for user to read and e-sign. This is where your agreement goes. Note that you can format your text. You can use lists, links, images, tables, special characters, and even system placeholders, so you can call information directly from that client's record, right? So this is the agreement, and that's going to be our whole service agreement, right? We'll just save that. Here's where you can customize the confirmation message. There is some default language here if that works for your compliance requirements. If not, then you're able to certainly change that as well. Okay. Then, of course, the last step I think I'd like to add is I want to show my clients some information about the portal and how I use it and where they can go to find help when they need it. Maybe give them some links to specific areas of the platform, or maybe even let them know how to find resources, right? All right, so for this step, we're going to use the content embed. And this is basically when we just want to display information to the person going through this flow. So let's call this portal info. For the clients, I want them to see something like welcome to our portal, something like that, right? edit content for user. And here is where you can use screenshots. You can do links to resources. You can give text instructions. You can embed video. If you wanted to like have a little video of you talking to your new client, that would be very cool. This would be a place that you could do that. Okay. So now that we've got all of our steps set up, I would like to make sure I don't lose my work. So over on the right hand side, I want to draw your attention to this strip of small icons in the top here. At the bottom, you'll see save and keep editing. That's what I want to do. The save button down here in the bottom left corner, this will save your flow, but then take you back to the flows menu when you're done working on this one. Okay. I would like to point out here at the bottom of the flow, we have an option to assign automations. This is where we can add automations once the user has completed all of these flow steps, right? But we can get even more granular with it. At each of these flow steps, if you expand, click the little caret icon to expand it down, you can see we also have trigger automations when this step is completed. That means that you can trigger automations at any or all of these individual steps, as well as automations when all steps have been completed. In this way, you could keep track of where the user is in your flow. By perhaps sending admin notifications or updating a custom field value, whatever you would like. At all of these checkpoints, you have the opportunity to add any of SuiteDash's powerful automations, right? So anything you want to do there at any of these steps, all of these steps, and or at the very end. Pretty cool, huh? And then the last piece that I want to give you is over here on the right in the little gear icon is where you get to the settings. I want to draw your attention to the last field. Redirect user after completion. This is where the user will be redirected after they've clicked complete on the final step of this flow. The default is to direct them back to their dashboard. But if any of these steps opens an invoice, what I like to do instead is change this to the default invoices link. So this way, when they complete the flow, they'll be taken directly to a page with their open invoices and they can just move right along and make payment. So that's where you set that. Make sure to click here, the save button at the bottom, or anywhere in this ribbon at the top to save it, and you'll know it's been saved by the green check mark. Then you can close it out safely. Those settings are saved with the flow when you click the save button in the bottom or save and keep editing in the top right, which I'm going to do just one more time just to be safe. And then the last thing that we're going to do is see what this looks like from the client's perspective. So clicking on the eyeball icon in the very top right here takes you into a preview so you can see exactly what the client would see. So assuming the client has just completed the kickoff form, confirmed their email address, and set their password, this is where they will be taken first. Because remember, this is an onboarding form, so they cannot access the rest of the portal until they make it through this form. So they would fill this form out, and then click Save and Continue here at the bottom. Again, note that we are technically within our portal, so this is a very secure environment, and this is a much more secure way to ask for private information such as a date of birth. So then I click Save and Continue to move forward. You can see our progress is indicated here on the left, so there's no confusion for the client as far as how far along they are or how many steps they have left. Now, this is going to be our client service agreement. They'll read your text here. It all makes sense. Here's our confirmation statement, and you'll note that it's blank here with a couple commas. As I type my name in this box, you'll see that it fills in that confirmation statement. Okay, then I click Next, and it shows me my signature. Yep, looks good to me. Make sure I spelled it right. Yes, okay. Confirm signature. All right, so this last screen represents our portal instructions that we would give to the client. So this is going to be how to get help, how to use the system, maybe some screenshots of what their dashboard will look like and how to use it, anything that you want to share with them before they become a full client. Now, in a live setting, we would click the complete button and this flow would be completed, but because we're in a preview setting, that will not work. So I'm going to X out simply because I'm in a preview. All right, and now I'm going to save this in the bottom left corner because we are done making changes to that flow, and there's only one more piece that we need to do to put all of this together. We need to revisit our kickoff form. Remember, an onboarding flow can only be assigned while you are creating a client manually in the CRM or by way of a kickoff form. So into our kickoff form we go. And then we scroll down here. Settings for unknown targets, right? Because this is an onboarding, so this will only be for unknown folks. And there it is, onboarding flow, new client intake. And that's all that you need to do to make that change in order for that to be assigned. Now, once this form has been saved, anyone who completes that kickoff form will be brought into the system, assign that onboarding flow, and automatically brought there as soon as they've confirmed their account. And that's it for the next layer of your onboarding. Now you've got a flow automatically handling your onboarding so you can spend your time focusing on clients instead of paperwork. Let me know if you found this helpful by hitting that like button. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next lesson. If you're ready to level up your business or just need help with SuiteDash, check the description below for ways to connect with me directly. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.